Hello again, welcome back. This is now episode 48, I think. I don't know how we've got 48 episodes, but we're at number 48. One of the next jobs is trying to get this engine ready for starting. Need to get fuel lines to it. Need to get downpipes made, get the turbos mounted on, get the spark plugs changed, which is why this is sitting here. Get the turbos all plumbed up and getting the wiring finished. So there's a bit to do yet, so I suppose I might as well get on with it really. First part of the day is going to be to try and get these plugs changed, because I would rather get them changed now whenever the covers are off, instead of risking scoring new paint basically on the nice new painted covers. So yes, we're getting places, finally. Okay, so now I've got the tank done. I was going to fit it, but there's no rust as such up in here. It's just all surfacey type stuff. So I'm going to head up in here, a good dig with a bit of paint. It's already got sort of underseal on it. I've already roughed it back with the wire wheel. So no flakes. So I'm going to head a dig with satin black up in there. It's blue on the arches, so that's all that really matters to me, to be fair. So yeah, I'll get the satin black in here and we'll go from there. Okay, sometime later, and I've just actually seen a bit that I've missed there. Anyway, I'll get that touched in a minute. That's the tank area done. I do intend to do the whole underneath of it, but the axle's coming out soon, so I will work forward from the tank area whenever I have the axle out. So she's now black in there anyway. I'll let that go off for a bit before I start fitting tanks and stuff, which can't remember if I showed you this already. Tank is now cleaned up, welded up, and yeah, ready to go. For those asking in the last video how I made sure there was no fuel in it, I've known this tank for about the last 10 or 11 years. A friend of mine owned it, and it hasn't had fuel in it for at least 20 years, because it was empty in the back of a car he bought before that, which had lay in a shed for years. So yeah, that's how I knew there was no fuel in it. I did give it the old sniff test, and yeah, didn't blow up. Obviously don't try this at home, kids. Don't be trying to weld a fuel tank after you've just took it off the car. It will blow up, you will die. So yes, anyway, need to get the tank in, need to start getting fuel lines ran. I'm running AN6 braided PTFE hose, which should hopefully combat the ethanol issues in the new fuel. The return line will be done on the same stuff, and yeah, making progress. Always making progress, it's the main thing. Okay, as part of one of the next parts of this thing, I need to get a knock sensor fitted. To do that, I needed to bolt it directly to the block. However, the only holes on the block are M10. Hole inside sensor is M8. So I've knocked up a bit of an adapter, welded an M10 stud to an M8 stud, which in theory, whenever it's screwed into the block, this should be flush to the block, so the copper or brass, whatever that is, should sit flush to the block, and then this will tighten on the nut. So one step further, I've also done a wee bit of work to I've put the last injector plug and stuff on the loom, and I'm trying to work out a location for the map sensor. I want as short as possible of a hose coming out of the plenum for the map sensor, so I need to work the location out for that, then make a bracket for it and try and do things tidy. Okay, so you can see now where I've mounted it here, if you're not sure. And the cable is routed up into the car. It's a KnockLink setup, so it's sort of like a standalone self-calibrating knock setup. It has this LED indicator that flashes, let's see, flashes dim blue whenever it's waiting for the engine to be started, flashes blue whenever the engine is started and it's calibrating, dim green whenever it's adapting to the engine's noise profile and listening to knock, and then it flashes red whenever you've been a bit of a tit, really. So I thought might as well fit it. It was expensive for what it was, but it gets good reviews, so I'll fit it. Probably you can screw this thing apart and you can fit it to the dash, so I'll probably drill a hole in my new fascia that I'm 3D printing, or model a hole into it, then go from there. Okay, sort of finished with the tank now. I have the pump and everything fitted. It's a bit dark, I do understand that, but pump fitted, rollover valve and stuff refitted with the clips and stuff on. I have put the new ethanol resistant hose on here the whole way around for the breather. The plastic would have been fine, but it wasn't on this tank, and I don't want to ruin another tank by taking it off whenever I have this hose sitting. So I adapted the wee clips and stuff to fit this new hose. So a couple of P-clips works well. I have the pads stuck on for the contact to the boot floor. Seals and stuff all back in, and I have test fitted the PTFE hose. You can see the difference in the PTFE on normal. Focus. One is obviously PTFE lined, and one has just rubber with steel braiding in it. So yes, it's time to get this up in. I have the sender fitted as well, with the two spade terminals on. I believe you can get at these with it up in, so I'm not too worried about wiring that up now. Probably should have tested it on the bench, but YOLO. Just drop it out again if I need to. You can get at the sender to take it out, I think, with where it sits in the car where we've put the sender. So next stage, put this tank in. that's the tank now in. Don't know how much you can see here to be truthful, but tank's now in, and I've started running fuel lines. You can see, well, potentially you can see, fuel line comes out of here, goes up, and it's going to be P-clipped along the floor. Over here then, my flipping head there, over here, it comes out the side of the tank here, and I'm going to P-clip it. Where my wee mark's going, don't even know, but I'm going to P-clip it there somewhere. Try and keep it tidy. Then I'm going to run the return line eventually, back down the same P-clip route and just into there. So for now, I'm going to try and P-clip this up and around the chassis leg, like that, just to try and keep it safe from getting snagged in anything. It's going, well, it's all just hung temporarily for now, right enough. But it's going through the existing hole where it came there. I need to drill another one for the return line. And yeah, I'm not going to cut this and do the return line until I get the right length for this. I'm waiting on fuel rail arriving. Once the fuel rail arrives, then I'll be able to cut and terminate this end of it. And I'm hoping I've enough left for a return line. Doesn't really look like that much. Well, I suppose whenever you stretch it out like this, yeah, I think I probably do. Anyway. Okay, so since I was last talking to you, I have started running the fuel lines. As you can see, they are going to run up tight to the chassis leg up in there. Well, I think you can see, might be a bit dark. I have removed the bump stop mount, which used to sit here. Hang on, let's see if we can get these lights in a bit better. I think that's better. I've removed the bump stop mount, which sat here. Air hammer / air chisel to the rescue. And I have routed the pipe from the pump away over there, up over behind the tank straps and out here. P-clipped it on, and I'm actually going to put a double P-clip on here, so mount another one this way and run my return fuel line alongside the main one. I'm going to do that the whole way up, hopefully, up the chassis rail, cross over and go up in the gap along the sill edge here, so it's sort of not at the lowest point of the car. Fitted the prop shaft, although this end will be coming back off again at some point to drop the axle. I have painted half of the underside. Hang on. I need to get more black paint for the far side, but it's definitely it's cleaned it up a good bit. What else have we done today? What else have I done today? Touched up any wee bits of blue paint that were chipped or damaged from putting the engine in as well up front, up in there. And what else did I do? Can't even remember. It's been a long day. So I'll get the rest of the car painted. I'm not showing you that, obviously. It's a bit boring, really. And I've ordered P-clips. That's what I'm waiting on now to do the rest of the fuel system. And I'm also waiting on my fuel rail arriving, as I said earlier on. So hopefully those will arrive before the next episode, and I'll get the fuel system done, and who knows, maybe even tested. Fuel relay and everything's there. Just need to wire up the pump and the sender. Yeah. It's been a bit of a mixed bag this episode, I do understand that. So thanks for sticking around with me. The time has come, however, to put it to an end and sign off on another cold evening. I will put my social media stuff up on the screen, hopefully here somewhere. If you could pop over and have a look if you're not already signed up over there. And if you are, thank you very much. The YouTube community tab as well. I try and post a bit in there, but I'm unsure if it's what, I don't know if people use it or not to interact with it. And if you really like what you're seeing and you want to support the channel, I'll put my Patreon details up as well in the middle of the screen, and at the top right as a clickable link. Again, no obligation for the whole Patreon thing. Just means that you get the videos earlier than everybody else, and you get to have your say sort of on how the project goes. There's different tiers starting off at £1 or 99p or something, working up to, I think it's £7.99 is the dearest one. You get different perks, different gifts and everything for signing up on different levels, of course. So have a wee look and see. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. As I said, we're getting closer to getting this thing fired up. I will hopefully get the fuel lines done next, get the fuel reel on. Once that's all on, get the wiring finished off, and get the engine sealed up with the rocket covers and stuff on. Then it's time to turn her over and see what happens, really. So yes, thanks for sticking around. I will see you in the next one. Bye.